This is the first episode of the Mile High Metal Hour. I'm Steve. I'm sitting here with this gentleman.
I'm Kevin. Hi.
This
is our first episode of Mind the Kinks.
Yeah, right. We lose you. We're sorry, but we'll get it figured out. But this is how you should do it. This is DIY, just like most of the shit we listen to anymore. So keep it underground. So I guess our main intent here is him and I just talk about this shit all the time. So we figured we might as well just fucking broadcast our thoughts and see if we can kind of build a little community where we can talk about this stuff, and not just bands per se, but just kind of the culture around it. We're going to try and do each episode focus on a different topic and see where it takes us.
And their name is Mile High Metal Hour, but it's not just Denver, right?
Yeah, I mean, we picked it mostly because we live here. I mean, we are lucky to live here
Oh,
because the scene is insane right now. But yeah, we won't just talk about Denver. We'll talk about bands from all over the place. And I think something you might get from us that you won't get from a lot of other places is you and I both just jam the hell out of the power metal, which isn't really that prevalent in the American metalhead kind of thing.
right, right.
So yeah, we're trying to keep it diverse and talk about whatever we're into, regardless if it's Denver or not.
Right.
We all know that I guess 2016 was pretty much a fucking dumpster fire of a year, with the exception
It was
with the exception of all the crazy good music and shows and all that.
yeah, I was gonna say 2016 fucking a wash except for music.
Yeah, dude. It's hard to fucking. It's like it feels so surreal. Just like I can't even imagine talking about 2016 a decade from now. Like what the fuck?
I
What
know.
was all that shit?
We'll be like 85 years old, and people will be like, "What happened that year?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you don't want to know."
No. Hopefully it's just 4 years of stupidity and then it kind of chills out. But either way. But more importantly, hopefully the music stays good this long. I mean, usually it's kind of it's not too hard coming up with like a best, 10 best of the year. But this year there's just been such a deluge of shit. It's been near impossible to even narrow it down to anything like around 25, 30, 50.
That is like it was really hard this year. I stressed out over this list. I mean, I listened to like 300 albums this year. I think like new albums this year.
Damn.
Only like two or three that I really severely.
Abbott.
Abbott, yeah, Abbott was. Ugh. Yeah.
What were you thinking, dude?
And that Cobalt I didn't care for. It seems to be everyone's favorite right now, but I was like, come on.
Yeah, it was just kind of all right, I guess, as far as I was concerned. But I don't know. I think we're both in agreement that Metallica put out the best record of the year, right?
Oh well, I didn't want to ruin the surprise, but that was my #1 album of the year.
What is it? 6,000 tracks of pure load goodness.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours of B-sides from Reload. It's amazing.
Well,
But seriously,
yeah, dude, we could talk shit about Metallica all day long, but that's not the objective here. So
yeah, we thought for our inaugural show, since it's the end of the year and music this year was so intense and awesome all around, we would just do our personal best of list. Top 10 with 5 honorable mentions from each of us. So the lists are different, well, for the most part.
yeah, a little bit of crossover. And then you want to start with our couple best shows?
Oh yeah, and also our local shows. But real quickly, some self promotion. I do a website called metalmarxistspot.com. My full list, which is 25 with an extensive honorable mentions list. So it digs into a little bit deeper there. But just for this show, keep it to 15.
Fucking, you settled with 25 and then another 25 honorable mentions?
I just kind of went crazy with honorable mentions. I didn't write them down or rank them or anything. I just kind of like
just dump them.
There's a lot. Okay, so yeah, I guess before we get to the list, we should do town this year.
I'm sorry, what was that?
We're gonna do awesome shows around town this year.
Yeah, we went to a bunch around town. I think it was my favorite show I saw in Denver all year. I don't know, it was really, really close between the Visigoths. They kind of just surprised the hell out of me. I don't know what I was expecting, but they tore that shit apart.
That band is it's amazing.
Yep, I mean that record is flawless, but it sounds even better live, and there's not a whole lot of bands that really pull that off.
Also amazing because there was only like 15 people there. So.
Right.
Which sucks for them, but it was cool for us.
But another local legend is there. I mean, Satan Toast. Every time I see those guys, I always, in the interim, forget how awesome they are. But then you go see them. Like,
and they were sick too, and they like were fucking just awesome.
Well, I mean, what's his name? I can't remember his name. He was what, Jag Panther back in the day.
Yeah, he was. See, I think he still is.
Is he? Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, but just I always forget how that dude's voice just crushes. I love it.
Oh, I know. And the other two bands, they were good too. The Celador, which was supposed to have a new album out, but they were awesome. I think I like Night Demon better live than I do on CD or album.
That's totally fair. What were some other big ones? I guess the Chemist release show. That was a pretty important show.
The place was packed to the rafters. Awesome bands.
Yeah.
And all the hype that band is getting.
We can address that now, I guess. They're one of the two of our crossover bands on each of our lists.
Yeah.
Us and Rolling Stone and Decibel and just about every other list that I've seen so far this year.
Yeah, that Chemist show being like better and better, and you think it's impossible to keep getting better like that, but they just keep. It's a big boon, big boost for them and for.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was sold out. If it wasn't sold out, it was damn near.
I've never been to the high dive where it's been that packed before. It had to have been sold out.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it. Well, I remember when we were getting in the door with our bud Ryan, who showed up late. I think he got like one of the last 10 or 15 tickets or something like that. They were talking about how close they were up at the door.
So. Speaking of high dive, one of my probably tied for my favorite show was the show that they did with Wayfarer.
Yeah.
Another awesome one. And fucking Falls just tears it up live. It was CD release party, and I like that band. They're another good Denver band. Lying if I said I wasn't there. I mean.
Yeah, right. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm probably more upset about missing that than anything else this year. I was just chewed up about it. But.
Back around. So that was like a big deal. That show was Chemist and Dreadnought and Falls Aroused and Wayfarer, and that was before the new Chemist album came out. It was just awesome.
Totally. And then I don't know if I think I had to pick one more. I got to see there's two bands I saw twice this year. I got to see Dragging Sunlight twice and Napalm Death twice. And like Napalm Death nice. At this point for me is, I mean, their live show. It's not a surprise anytime, but goddamn it, right. They're just the godfathers of all of that shit, and they still play like it. I mean, they can have any band open for them, and they'll clean up. They'll be every time.
Well, yeah, it's like an institution at this point.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what the world's gonna do without them when that inevitably happens.
We'll probably just die on stage. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Right. And, I bet Shane's the one that lived the longest because he's like the most haggard looking one now.
He looks like he's lived the longest already.
Right.
Greenway's still holding up pretty well, so.
Yeah, totally. Well, vegan.
Yeah. That's true, that vegan thing. I work with a guy who's like in his 50s. He looks like he's 30. He's a total vegan.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd rather be 50 and look 50 and eat meat than.
Yeah. The Blind Guardian show this year was like, that's like a fanboy show, I guess.
Which one?
Blind Guardian.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to see him. Was that the first time? Was that early this year, or was it the end of last year?
That was the second time I saw him was this year, but they were here last year too. It's around the same time, and then this time was they played all of Imaginations from the other side.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I got to catch that one. I did that one, and then Sabaton was the week before that, and those are probably hands down my two favorite power metal bands. So it was nice to get them stacked side by side.
Blind Guardian just like brings out the nerd in me, so I was just fucking in power metal dork heaven.
Right. I think we were talking at that show. It's so funny how you can go to show after show after show and see a lot of the same people, and then you get one of these nerdy Euro bands over, and the crowd is completely different. So you don't see anybody you see at any of the other shows.
I know. I just wonder where these people are hiding.
Fucking half of them got to run home and read Tolkien like right after. Shit.
Yeah, they're like in the middle of a D&D campaign or something.
Yeah. Got to pause throughout the show real quick, but damn it.
Yeah, so that was, I mean, there was Denver's pretty good about shows coming around, big shows and local shows, so there's never not something around here.
Yeah, I mean, especially this year. I mean, I don't live anywhere else, so it's more easy to see when you live here. But I mean, I struggle to think of any other scenes right now that are just pumping out bands in the way we are.
Yeah, it just seems
even the ones that aren't signed are great.
For the Denver scene in general, but we need to see so many good bands playing around town and also getting like recognition. It used to be just like, oh yeah, they're a Denver band, they're opening for whatever big band came through, and they're like,
Yeah.
But now these bands hold their own, so it's awesome.
Should we jump into the honorable mentions of 2016 now?
There are 5 honorable mentions each, so.
Well, you want to start us off?
This is the fun part of metal, is pronouncing these names.
Yeah, right. You've got it way harder than I do.
Yeah. So Belnos, Kornog, awesome black metal. That Worshipper with Klechti. Yeah. Ramsey, Pazuzu.
Yeah, what do you even call it?
What's that?
What do you even call that shit?
Psychedelic sludge black metal. I have no idea.
That's definitely like, I don't know, maybe the weirdest record I heard all year. That Hail Spirit Nor was pretty out there too. But.
Yeah, these all 3 of these, Belnos, Die Worshipper, and Oranzi Pazuzu are all pretty eclectic. Die Worshipper is pretty avant-garde, I guess. And anyway, remember my other honorable mentions: Sacrilegium's Anima Lucifera. That's their first album in like what 20 years, and it's fucking amazing. And finally, Woman is the Earth, Torch of Our Final Night. This band is highly underrated.
Yeah, I saw you posted that one a lot. I guess it got a lot of mileage. It was really good. My first honorable mention is another Denver band called Bone Rot. Their record is 12 minutes long, just brutal. I don't know, kind of almost Godflesh inspired grindcore, and it's just noisy and dense sounding. It's the kind of shit that really, like, you always make a joke about, oh, my music annoys my neighbors. Like, that's the shit that will actually fucking make them want just to die. After that, I got Hierophant, record called Mass Grave. Just, I don't even know what country these guys are from, but it's, I don't know. It's Nails meets Behemoth. They have kind of the fast Nails parts, but there's really Behemoth, long, rippy, I think like more the latter stuff with Behemoth. But yeah, it's fucking way, way good. Ulcerate, Strength Paralysis. That, I don't know. I think they're the heaviest band on earth. I can't think of bands really that are doing it better than them right now. Got the new Zao, the Well-Intentioned Virus.
Ulcerate too. It's not on my list, but it's.
Yeah, those guys are they're crushing it. And then so Zao, the Well-Intentioned Virus, Hardcore Legends coming back doing their dark, bleak, fuzzy hardcore shit. It's pretty great. I grew up with them, so it's always fun to see where they're at, especially because they used to be super preachy and Christian, and now they're kind of the anti that a little bit. So it's been cool to watch them go through that change. So then we go to Wormrot Voices. Their third full length, their best one. I guess the only reason it's not higher up on the list is because it wasn't as big of a surprise. So those guys just continue to be awesome.
So inevitably, when like there's so many of these lists out there, and I love them personally. I scour them at the end of the year.
Oh, sure.
We'll say like it's not about ranking or anything like that, or who cares what order it is, but something of value from these lists every year. Even despite the fact that I listen to so much music, I still at the end of the year will find a handful of albums. And I'm like, oh shit, I wish I'd heard that 6 months ago.
Right.
So crossover, and a lot of lists are on other people's lists, and they're also between just the two of us, we have a couple. So instead of talking about them twice, we should just do it right now. Just get them out of the way.
All right. So I guess that brings us to yet again, Chemist.
What number did it place on yours?
I've got him at 4.
Yeah, I've got them at 7 on mine.
Nice. Yeah, us and like we said earlier, us and everyone else talking about metal right now.
Yeah, they seem to be the critical darlings this year. I feel like everyone's just catching on to what we already knew here, you know?
Yep. Well, it's nice to be in that, have the geography to get to know it before everyone else latches onto it. But.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, now they're too trendy or something. I don't like them because it's well deserved. Everything about it is well deserved. Like the last album, Absolution, was fucking phenomenal. I believe it was on my list last year. At the same number actually. But yeah, and as soon as I said they were putting out something this year, I was like, well, it'll at least be as good as Absolution. But I feel Hunted is a better album altogether.
Oh yeah, I think that's why they placed as high as they did on my list. Is just the amount of growth in such a short amount of time. I mean, it's one thing for a band to put out a great album and then spend 2 or 3 years and record and put out another great album, but just the rapid pace, just the amount of growth shown over such a small period of time is pretty incredible.
Yeah, totally. They changed it up a little bit. They got rid of a lot of the death growls. I do one of the death growls is from another band, and I should totally spaced the band's name.
In the Company of Serpents.
Yeah, In the Company. Jesus Christ. And I think what kept it from getting higher for me was I don't think it's not a negative by any means. I just don't think they did anything as innovative as the band above them. If that makes any sense?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. I mean, they're very much.
I think they've taken a tried and true formula and made it their own.
Yeah.
I think they're like a combination of like the. People always say it's like Sabbath Maiden, which I think is example of that. But if we were doing like best songs of the year, the last song, the title song, Hunted, might be in competition.
Yeah, if not, I mean, just that opening riff alone, that shit makes my hair stand up. It's way too good. Guitar harmonies, man, can't beat it.
Yeah. So I'm sure everyone who's into this kind of music knows about Chemist now, especially after the Decibel thing. All the best of. I think they were on Rolling Stone this week or something. I saw on Facebook.
Beating out Black Sabbath.
Yeah, right. If you haven't heard Chemist, like just give it a shot. Even if that kind of traditional doom was not your thing, these guys do it all on their own.
Yeah, I mean, pretty untouchable. So I don't know. I guess that's all there really is to say about that one. So should we get to our other crossover record?
Which is Sayer. Is that how you say it? Sayer, sour. I don't want to say sour. It's Sayer, right?
You know, it was funny. I was actually pulled it up on my computer earlier. Like, how do you pronounce this? And I think the problem is we just don't speak Gaelic and we don't have a Scottish accent. So like, it's kind of impossible to get it right. But yeah, you were pretty damn close.
Yeah, it probably sounds much better with the Scottish brood.
Yeah.
But Sayer, that's your number one, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. It just, and it's not just by an inch, by a mile. I just kills me, man.
So I've got it at number 3.
So real close.
Yeah, and that was this was one of those albums that I knew it was coming out this year. And I knew it was going to end up on this list somewhere, and probably near the top. I think when Aura came out, it was number 1 that year, only because there was not a Panopticon album out that year,
Right.
or they were tied, or something like that. I forget, but yeah. But I think my buddy Ben sent me when they were still what was their name of before he changed it to Sayer, it was Ars or something like that, Ars Day.
Yeah, something like that.
And that was that Roots album. And I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then it seemed like, yeah, he went from that to Sayer and then just started pumping out music. And I was like, man, this guy is on top of it. And it's another one of those one-man bands, at least recording-wise, for the most part.
Yeah, he does all the writing and whatnot. And then Aura was, even a step up from Roots. Certainly, Austin from Panopticon playing drums was no small part of that. But even without him on Guardians, I still
On the last one was a big part of the sound, and that's why I didn't think he was going to be able to top that album.
Oh yeah, but I think Guardians again, it's by a mile. I don't know. I think the production is a lot better than it has been. I really like the final mix. His vocals sit right where they need to sit. The strings and pipes and whistles and all that whatnot. That takes the lead just enough, and man, everything else just thunders and thunders and thunders.
So how would you describe Sayer for people who haven't or may not know? It's I always say atmospheric black metal, but I feel like that genre term is not encompassing enough for certain bands.
Yeah, and you could throw the folk in there, but I mean it's very specific folk. It's the Celtic folk. So what?
Yeah, every time you say folk band, it's always a different folk. Yeah, like you said, very Celtic. But, I think we should mention that his name's Andy, right?
Andy Marshall, yeah.
This year, earlier in the year, that was again, it's going to be called Fouth.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's very much in like a kind of like an old, cold Burzum sort of worshiping going on there.
Oh, it's super Norway.
Yeah, so I like to compare these two albums. I like to say that Fouth is the winter and Sayer is like the summer or fall.
Yeah.
Of his musical output. So Sayer is very like warm and
uplifting almost.
I don't know, transcendent in a way. Whereas Fouth was kind of cold and grim and desolate.
Oh yeah. I showed this record to my buddy Ian, and his remark was, it's about the only black metal that I've ever listened to that actually uplifts me rather than like just making me feel miserable and shitty. So
yeah, there are bands that do that. I just don't think there are as well as Sayer, or at least this year.
Oh, definitely. And I think of all the genres, I think atmospheric black metal might have had the best year of all of them. I mean, I think I've listened to more.
I'm not sure if that's just because my personal bias, but I'm looking at my list and there's a lot of them on there.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is. I mean, even if not near as many of them made my list at the end on yours, but and that just is more about the personal taste. But of everything I listened to, I think the lion's share of it was probably the atmospheric. There's so much of it.
On top of that list, where they go from here, I'm not sure, but I have no reason to believe that whatever he does next is not going to be amazing.
Oh no way. I told my wife I've got the first two on vinyl, and I told her if this place ever sets on fire, those records are the first things I'm saving, and I'll come back for her and the pets.
Should we move on?
Yeah, I guess real quick. Not that So for all you people listening here, we're gonna play you some another Denver band called Sar is Saddam, I guess is how they pronounce it. It's some local black metal, killer stuff. The guitarist plays in a couple other bands. Harvest the Murdered is one of them. But yeah, so we'll play that now and see you in a second. we're back, dude.
Oh, just like that. All right, so I guess I'll go. I'm gonna start at the bottom 10 and go all the way to top, and we'll skip Sayer and
Chemist.
Chemist, even though I feel like you got jilted out of a number one.
Nah, it's all good.
All right, so my number 10 was the new Fortress album, Themes, Porla Rebellion. Yeah, another language I don't speak.
Right?
Yeah, this was as soon as I heard that they were putting out an album. It was going to be something I knew would be a contender for Year Endless because it's Fortress, and at this point they're Quebec legends, I guess. So they kind of Quebec atmospheric black metal sound. Yeah, I was surprised this one was a little more furious than I was expecting them to be, but it's still highly atmospheric and nature oriented and kind of fall winter-esque kind of black metal. I mean, there's so many of these Quebec black metal bands, and they all kind of have a similar approach to music. But I think Fortress is one of the ones that's doing it the best up there.
Yeah, dude, I really like that record as well, and I do think it was more furious and stuff, but just their ability to, like you said, keep it both super heavy and I guess pretty is a good word too. Keep it just tread that line so well.
Yeah, great band. You can't really go wrong with any of their albums, but it had been not too long, but long enough to have their new one be anticipated and highly expected. So yeah, that was a great album. Another atmospheric black metal band. Can't go wrong with that.
Sweet. Well, yeah, my number 10 is also atmospheric black metal. I got that Sojourner, Empires of Ash, sitting at number 10 on mine.
Oh, that album is so good.
I mean, I'm just, dude, I think it's part of the reason I like Sayor as much as I do, but I'm just such a sucker for fucking flute and just that particular kind of folkiness. And I think it was you who showed me that record, actually. Just, holy fuck, man.
Yeah, I can't remember how I found it. It's not even a band I was familiar with. I think it might have been a review or something. Or probably someone wrote, like, I don't know, some tags or something that caught my eye, like atmospheric black metal or something. Like, oh, this sounds interesting. But,
right? And I think the part I like about it, the songcraft is awesome. The way the record is laid out is awesome. They've got, I think it's the third track in is the one with the more predominantly female vocals on it.
Mm-hmm.
It just punctuates the rest of the record well enough. It's furious, but then really, really pretty on the other hand. And you know where those guys are from? I don't have a clue.
I couldn't remember off the top of my head. I describe them as Sayer worship meets summoning.
There you go. That's perfect. I couldn't have put it better.
Like that folk nature aspect to it, but there's also that like epic, like Lord of the Rings kind of thing going on. Like,
oh yeah, I'll post the cover up for all these on when we release this bitch. But yeah, just that the cover art is, I mean, super Tolkien. It looks like fucking Gondor, just like sitting out in the middle of a field. Was my first thought when I saw it. So
yeah, that one's an earworm. That one's got a lot of spins this year.
Yep, for sure. So I guess you're number 9 then?
My number 9 was a bit surprising because I didn't think it was going to get this high, but it's the new Darkthrone, Arctic Thunder.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm a huge Darkthrone fan. If like you had to put a gun in my head and pick favorite metal band, it might be Darkthrone. So I was, you know, it's a little biased, but I was expecting it to be awesome. I've liked their entire discography. I don't have a problem with anything they've done. A lot of people get upset about where they've moved after the first 4 or 5 albums, but it doesn't bother me. I think they're still awesome, even no matter what they're doing. However, what struck me about this one, I think, is that they sounded more like themselves this time around, as opposed to like Fenris's keeper of the true gate or whatever he's been doing, where he's like the librarian of metal, I think is how my friend put it. Like,
yeah, totally.
which is fine. Like I wouldn't say that they were ripping off stuff, but you could tell that he was definitely paying tribute and homage to a lot of different styles that he thinks is some of the truer metal. But I feel like on this one, Fenriz stepped down from vocals, and I think he really let Nocturnal Culto shine, and that he sounded more vital than he's sounded in a while. And it just, yeah, it felt more like Darkthrone to me for once than it has in the past couple albums.
But I think part of it is it feels less constructed. It doesn't feel like they had any sort of intent to, like, oh, this is going to be a crust punk record, or
Right.
this is going to be this kind of record. It seems like the kind of riffs those dudes just like write when they're in their sleep. Like it just is really organic and just doing their thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. It's fucking Darkthrone, and it sounded like they were having fun. Like, oh no, Darkthrone's having fun, but it's fun.
Yeah. For you kids who don't know, Darkthrone is a black metal band from Norway. All right, so at number 9, I've got Vermin Womb, more Denver band.
Valiant, yeah, killer band.
Fucking the record's called Declined, their first full length. Although it's always funny saying full length with grindcore records, like it's a full 20 minutes.
Yeah, but there's a lot in that 20 minutes.
That's really dense. It's no secret the singer, vocalist / guitarist Ethan also does Primitive Man, and this lineup was their former band, Clinging to the Trees of a Forest Fire. It's all the same guys that saw that band to its untimely demise. But Clinging was very much grindcore with funeral doom thrown into it, and I shouldn't say thrown into it. There's nothing haphazard about the way those guys played, but when that band ended, it kind of split off, and Primitive Man does the doom thing, and I was really excited to have Ethan come back, or not just Ethan, but Ethan, JP, and Zach just come back, and it is more, the guitar tone is different. It is more along that Primitive Man, just super dirty, thick, like, it's somewhere between a guitar chord and just utter noise, but it goes a million miles an hour.
As opposed to Primitive Man, which is like plotting and.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's not even close. So it's nice to have those guys back, and they fucking, what can you say? It's as dirty and as angry and as dark as grindcore has ever been. Just totally nihilistic and fucking evil.
And yeah, another notch in the killer Denver metal belt.
Totally, fucking well. And this scene owes a lot to that band and his other projects and fucking all that stuff. But yeah, that one's my number 9, and I think for as big of a grindhead as I am, that's one of only 2 real grindcore records that made my top 10. So usually it's like 9 grind records and then a death metal record or something like that. But
right. I'm not even gonna pronounce this even close to right, but at number 8 I got Wedrusi Wiater. And the album is, I don't know. It's Polish. I have no grasp of this language. It's this, like right here.
Right.
So find this, and you'll be in for a fucking treat. Their last album, I think it was last year before, I forget. It's fucking phenomenal. It's more atmospheric black metal, highly captivating. Super beautiful music. It's just so, I don't know, passionate, so intense. I have a soft spot for the Polish stuff, but this band is, I think there's like 4 Polish bands on my list this year, actually. But yeah, totally amazing. Very nature folky influenced, but I can't pronounce her name for the life of me. But yeah, those guys.
All those adjectives we used for Seol also apply here.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. So at number 8 for myself, I have got Oceans of Slumber.
See, now this is one I'm not familiar with because I didn't have time to go through your list. So
the record is called Winter. This was one that I had never heard of. The only reason I caught wind of it is two of the members are in Insect Warfare, who I just absolutely worship. So I was like, all right, Insect Warfare guys have a new project. I bet it's fucking grind as hell, and it's not even a little bit. I guess the closest way to put it is, I mean, it's prog metal, like kind of almost like, I don't know, Nail Bliviscaris, if you know those guys.
Right.
Yeah, it's in that, under that tent, but the vocalist, her name is Tammy, and she's got a wonderful voice. They do a couple covers. They do Nights in White Satin by Moody Blues, which just shouldn't work as a heavy song at all, but it's one of my favorite songs of the year.
That's so weird because there's another band that we like, Nocturnal, not Nocturnal Hammer. Hold on. Yeah, Nocturnal Mortem. Sorry. They do a of that song too, and it's totally like fucking black metal out. I'm like, what the hell, guys? Like,
right? I wonder, like, just how Moody Blues even comes up. Fuck. Every time I've ever been in a band, I don't think we've talked about doing covers, but just that's never a name that's never been thrown out there.
There's got to be something to it because now there's two. I know of two extreme metal bands that have covered that song. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great cover, but the rest of she just got a really soulful voice, and they put her right in front of just total thunderous proggy. I mean, it's the drummer from Insect Warfare, so you know how fast it goes.
Right.
Again, it's another. I'm using this word a lot tonight, but just pretty and heavy, and totally took me by surprise. It's kind of a standalone on my list. There's nothing else really like it. Just
a lot of Insect Warfare shirts at the show last night.
Oh, I'm sure that those fucking. I see them all the time.
All right, so my number 7 was Chemist, which we already talked about. So we're going to 6 now.
Cool.
Which was Witherscape's Northern Sanctuary, and I'm just a sucker for anything Dan Swano does, and he's so. I'm not even gonna try to cover everything right now. He's so prolific and a linchpin of the Swedish metal scene from the get-go, from the classic days. There's so many albums out, so many producer and sound engineer credits, but Witherscape is his current full-time band. And I can't think of the other guy's name off the top of my head. Shit. But it's kind of like progressive, gothy death metal. It kind of ebbs and flows. There's progressive parts to it. It's really got its own sound. It's hard to describe. It's very Dan Swano-ish. It's very creative, I would say.
Oh, yeah. It's all over the place.
Yeah. But I got just like an unbottled or uncorked explosion of creativity and everything he does. I can't get enough of it. And this is the second album of the Witherscape project, unless you count the EP, which was a bunch of covers of like Kiss and Iron Maiden and the Judas Priest song, which was cool. But I'd much rather hear his original works. It's very much in line with his first album. I just think he got a little more crafty with things. So, and that being Dan Swano, the production is going to be top notch, and it is, of course. This is as good as metal will ever sound, like as opposed to, we're talking about a lot of grind and black metal stuff. This is the opposite end of that. This is like pristine sounding quality music.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, again, that's another one I think if there wasn't such a dearth of amazing shit this year, would in a normal year might have made my list, but.
Yeah, that's fucking, it's just hard to do.
All right, so my number 7, this was my most recent discovery. I kind of told myself I was going to stop listening to new shit, but then this band is called Know Nothing, and main dude in it, or one of the guys, is Chris DeBari from formerly of Today Is the Day.
Right,
and,
okay.
Today Is the Day is just one of my all-time favorite bands, no contest, and he played with them for, I think, 3 albums between Sadness Will Prevail and Axis of Eden, but it borrows heavily from the Today Is the Day sound, which I'm sure is in no small part where I like it as much as I do. But just furious, noisy, contempt for all people kind of music. Oh yeah, I didn't even say the name of the record. It's Well-Deserved Human Suffering is the name of it. Probably also got my favorite cover work art of the year, and the listeners and viewers on YouTube will be able to see that when we're on editing.
I do enjoy the hatred of mankind aspect there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fucking gotta have at least a couple of those every year. Fucking, especially in a year like this.
Right. Yeah, no
But,
joke.
yeah. just contempt for other humans, and I'm all about it. So if you like Today Is the Day and that the noisier side of the metal spectrum, that it'll be right up your alley.
Right on, dude. All right, number 5 on mine is I hope I pronounce this right. It's not even that hard. The words are weird.
Good punishment. You did this to yourself.
It's Mare Cognitum with Luminiferous Ether, I think.
Yeah.
Again, atmospheric black metal.
So,
but as opposed to the other ones that are all usually folk-oriented, nature-oriented, pagan, heathen kind of stuff, Mare Cognitum is space atmosphere, so it's really atmospheric. Like, it's very cosmic and
yeah, you got more than a couple of on your list as well. Space had a big year in metal.
there's a lot of space stuff on mine too. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, the Orin C Pazuzu and this one. But as opposed to the Orin Sazi Pazuzu, which that's more like the crushing desolation of space. I think Mare Cognitum is more of like a in awe of space sort of idea.
Mare Cognitum as presented by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, it's more like space is awesome. Here's some music about it, but it's very, very transcendent, very beautiful and forceful, and it's just he put out a split earlier this year too with the band whose name escapes me, and that song in there was just fucking phenomenal. So
anyway,
what's that?
Yeah, their name escapes you, and you probably couldn't say it if it didn't escape you.
Yeah, and like that split was awesome. The other band is good, but just I feel like that split was heavy loaded. Like there was no way you could compete with the Cognitum side of it, and I believe it's a one-man band from California. But yeah, his last album, all his albums are fucking awesome. His last one was what really made me stand up and take notice. And I was like, holy shit! And then just seemed like open floodgates for this spacey black metal kind of stuff. But
yeah, the last one was the first one I'd ever heard of theirs too. With this one, I think again, like you said, ups it considerably.
It's just so furious, but not like angry. It's just I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it sounds like fucking space, like, but like the creative side of space, like the
space
universe expanding. I mean, there's the opposite side. We'll get to that, but yeah. So Mare Cognitum, Luminiferous Ether, number 5.
My number 6 probably is the one on my list that you just aren't real huge on, but I am unabashedly in love with Sabaton. I have been for some time now, and it is no different than any fucking thing they've ever put out. It's poppy, it's heavy. You can pump your fist at every single track. It's about war always.
Right.
It's just.
It's not that I dislike Sabaton. I don't have anything against them. There's not my power metal cup of tea, I guess. I think what it is I think it's the vocalist. I don't think his voice isn't as like expansive and huge as a lot of power metal vocalists are.
Yeah, and I think the trade-off is it's not as expansive, but when he's in his range, it's booming and super powerful. I think he is part of the reason why they do stick with Bruce as much as they do. But I don't think it's the best record.
No, but
it's fucking by large probably what I've listened to the most years. I can just put it on and pump my fist, and it's fun every time. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the first person to tell me it's good, and I'm not denying that it is. But there is a band that sprung out of Sabaton called Civil War.
Yeah.
And they have ex-members of Sabaton and the former lead singer of Wuthering Heights. And Wuthering Heights put out one of my all-time favorite power metal albums, so I checked that out. And It's war metal too,
Yep.
but it's Civil War, obviously. So it's Swedish power metal singing about American Civil War. So it's kind of like this weird disconnect. Like, okay, whatever.
It's a disconnect, but it's also their commercial vulnerability and their attachment to Sabaton. I'm sure has part of it because
Yeah, I'm sure. There's like, well, they already got World War II covered or World War One, I forget. So they'll just Civil War.
Yeah, well, and I mean, fucking, they'd be stupid not to. Sabaton sells fucking millions and millions of records. They're fucking huge band everywhere but here, really. They still charted here though. I think they were like 62 or something on the U.S. charts. Still a shitload of records.
Yeah, they're like, I know, yeah, they're like the power metal band right now. I feel like they took over from what Dragon Force left in the dirt. So.
Right. Well. All right. So I guess we fucking play these all 10 people that might listen to this another song. This one's from the number 15 on my list, Bone Rot. I'm actually going to play 2 tracks because they're so damn short. They're about a minute apiece. So this is I Am the Law and Blood Red Skies by Bone Rot.
I am the law!
And we're
Oh shit.
back again.
All right, so I'm on number 4 now. My number 4 was In the Woods, Pure, their new album. The 3 previous In the Woods albums are fucking phenomenal. And their first album was more, I think the only album they have is in Black Metal Veins was their first one. But where they went from there to the second one, Amio, and then Stranger and Stereo, they just progressed so much between each album. They just got weirder, more progressive, more gothy, I guess you'd say, more dark metal. But then they just disappeared. And now, well, they became another band, but that's a whole other thing. But Green Carnation, I believe. But 17 years later, they got back together and put out Pure. And again, that was another one that was like, I knew it was coming out. I knew it was going to be awesome. And it was. It's fucking amazing. Just creativity unbound. And the only thing that's missing is the awesome female vocals. I think really complements her music. It's the only thing that kept it from getting higher on the list. But yeah, great fucking band. Weird, trippy, gothic, kind of progressive. Some black metal left, but every album they're just leaps and bounds ahead of the last one. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that one as well. Fucking, I'd never. They're like you said, because their sake was so long, I just, forgot completely about it. And then when they announced the new one was coming out, I had to go back and revisit all of it. I should have kept up on it, because there should have been some heavier rotation, because it's a great band.
Yeah, totally great band. All right, next.
Yeah. So I guess I'm on number 5 now, which is a grindcore band called Dagra. They're one of my Bandcamp finds. Random internet surfing. Record is called Nil. It is 15 minutes of just the most angular, precise, fast as balls, just straightforward grindcore. They take a little bit of a different approach in the guitar tone. They don't do the trend like what's super trendy right now. It's just the drenching everything in noise and distortion, and like the Vermin record. It's way more. You can hear what the guitar is doing, almost like Gridlink, if you know them. Just really pristine guitar.
I do, yeah, Gridlink, yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, I do, yeah, Gridlink, yeah.
So that's a comparison, but just that kind of guitar sound, less noodly than Gridlink. But straight to the point, smash the fucking face in. Perfect. My favorite grind record. It was like hearing Wormrot. It was totally surprising, screaming out. Loved it.
Nice. Yeah, we can't tell by now, Steve's a grindcore fan, which is like, I'm not as much so. So he knows way more about grind than I do. I like grind, but not as much as Steve.
Yeah.
Which is good, so you can fill in what I don't know about grind.
Yeah. It's way more popular than I do, I think, at the end of the day.
So my number 3 was Sayer, we talked about.
Yep.
So we go to number 2, which was Blood Incantation Starspawn.
Fuck yeah.
Which is another Denver band. And they're getting a lot of hype, a lot of press this year too. I think Decibel had them at number 3 on their list. I know it was on it. I don't remember what. Thank you.
Yep.
I saw them a couple weeks ago live, and it was fucking phenomenal. I bought the CD and shirt. I'm not wearing, but hands down the most interesting death metal that came out this year.
Oh,
by far. And it's again, yeah. There's a space theme going on here, but as opposed to Mare Cognitum's nice space, like awe of space. This is all just like heavy, crushing space will kill you and doesn't even give a shit because your life is meaningless and pointless in the grand scheme of things. And
yep.
It's 30 minutes of that, but just insane death metal that no one's playing death metal like this band is. They're just phenomenal. Phenomenal band.
Yep. I totally agree. And when that first came out, it was very higher up on my list. I just, man, again, too much. But I would like to talk about just the drum sound on that record. It's just the best sounding drums I've heard all year. Totally, you can tell it's straight to tape. Just sounds fucking awesome. It sounds like it was from the early 90s, and it really, really complements just the sound of the record. Is just rest on those drums for me, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, it does have a older aesthetic to it. It does sound 90s-ish. I don't maybe like early Morbid Angel kind of ish, but better. Yeah.
Well, maybe, it's but I mean, this writing is definitely a different direction than that. It's more modern as far as the song being expanded.
Right.
And again, like you said, thematically got the space thing. It's not, fucking maggots and dead bodies and fucking all that.
But there is, there's that 90s aesthetic to it. I don't have the t-shirt on me, but that their design more so than the music. The design, the image of the band is very 90s-ish. Kind of the layout here has a bit of that going on. But yeah, just another amazing Denver band, amazing live, just all around. Their other half, Spectral Voices, is it? Spectral Voices?
Yep. Well, and Wayfarer, the other direction.
And Wayfarer. Spectral Voices has been getting a lot of hype recently too. They're doomier side of death metal, a little more progressive. But they're supposed to have something like finally a full length coming out next year, from what I gather. So that'll be interesting too.
Perfect. I'd also like anyone listening who is already just butt fucking in love with Blood Incantation. The plan is to have their drummer Isaac on here at some point in the near future. So
Yes.
get stoked about that.
Yeah.
I told him we wouldn't ask him a ton of boring questions about his band, but you know, there's gonna be stuff there.
It's probably just gonna be like, "What's your favorite sci-fi movie?"
Right.
How
So
come your band is so awesome?
hopefully we can get that worked out, and that'll be awesome. So, my number 4 was Chemist, so we'll skip over that to number 3, which is the almighty Neurosis, Fires Within Fires. I don't know. Neurosis is like church for me. It's spiritual. It's heavy as fuck. They're still doing their thing. I mean, there's no surprises really for me with Neurosis anymore.
Right.
It's just they're so good that they're allowed the longevity that they have, and I think it's kind of interesting with this one because a lot of modern kind of gloomy records really go for that. What Neurosis was doing 10 years ago, that huge, sprawled out, expansive kind of songwriting. I think they consciously noticed that the trend is that way now, and they just pulled way back. I think the record's like maybe 40 minutes long. It's got to be the shortest Neurosis record since the early 90s. But it's pummeling, perfect, emotional.
I feel like Neurosis kind of went under the radar for most of their career, and then when Post became such a big deal,
Yep.
all of a sudden everyone's like, "I love Neurosis." I'm like, I feel like they were responsible for that in a weird way.
Oh yeah, thank you. Fucking, they, I don't know. It should be interesting to see where the Post thing goes because it's really been. I feel like the dearth of new bands here anymore just kind of have some element of shoegazy, posty going on.
Right.
And they did that. That was their baby. They invented it.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I labored back and forth. I don't know if I put them that high on the list because it just didn't seem fair. Because I will, no matter what, this record every time. I don't think they've not been on my list for as long as I've been doing them. But here we are. Number 3 on the list is Fires Within Fires. Fucking listen to it.
Yeah, they're one of those bands like I totally respect, totally understand the influence, but I just don't listen to them that much. I got a couple of their albums and I don't dislike them, but it's just there are people who are into Neurosis and they're into Neurosis. I'm not into Neurosis.
Yeah, it's one or the other. There's no middle ground with those guys, really.
I did check out what's his name, Stephen Von Till. Is that his name?
Yeah, his solo one.
Yeah, his like acoustic folky thing. That was pretty good. So
yeah, I love that one too. It was really good.
yeah.
So what? Are you up to your number 1 now? Are we there?
I am my number 1. Yeah. Yeah, this fucking Vector Terminal Redux. It's been my number 1 since it came out in fucking March or May or whatever.
Yep.
I just cannot get enough of this album, and their previous albums for that matter. But as far as metal goes this year, I don't think anyone did anything as creative or as dynamic as this Vector album. And it's sorely flying under the radar for some reason. And it's just a fucking beast of an album. Just a total, just total creativity. The riffs on this thing are just some of the best riffs I've ever heard in metal. We should talk to, everyone was talking about this one thrash band that came back from fucking nonsense and seems to be getting all the praise, but Vector out-thrashed everybody in that fucking genre this year. And maybe not just this year, maybe the past decade, maybe the past 20 years. I can't even.
It's fucking metal historians will remember this song as just a huge moment in thrash.
Yeah, it's like, it's the only thrash band I've heard that's done anything interesting with the genre in forever.
Yeah, and it for me, I'm not, again, I think like you said, I'm way more on the grind spectrum, and I think you're way more on the thrash spectrum than I am. And I don't think I ever thought I would get anything further out of that genre. Like, I thought there was just nowhere left to go aside from, making it sound really good on a record, and then, that's fine, it's good. But I mean, this really, really, really pushes outside of that. Wow, but yeah, fucking incredible. What is it? I think the second half with the super, super Pink Floyd kind of sound going on.
Yeah, they got the claps, yeah. That's the thing, that the album's like over an hour long. Every song on here is pushing the 10-minute mark. It's just, and it's a space concept going on here. I'm not even going to try to describe the story. It's very sci-fi-ish as opposed to Natural Space, which was Blood Incantation by Mayor Cognitum. This is very sci-fi. They borrow a lot thematically from Voivod. I know people like to bring that up a lot when talking about them. I don't think they sound so much like Voivod, but there's definitely that sci-fi thrash that without Voivod. I mean, the fucking, like, look at their logo. Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah, it's phenomenal record. And I think the last song on here, Recharging the Void, there is a riff that comes in around the 10-minute mark, which is a work of art. Like, if there's a museum where you would hang riffs, like, this would be the Mona Lisa of that museum.
Yeah, with the one sitting right next to it.
Yeah, it's fucking. I could go on forever about this album. I saw them not too long ago. They played it in its entirety, plus a couple older songs. Like, I would just hate to be a thrash band right now and like have to compete with these guys. It's not even fair.
I was kind of shocked. I thought they were going to make more lists. They didn't. I thought that would pop up a lot more. But
yeah, they made the only one I've seen them on that they topped was on the Banger TV channel on YouTube. That Sam Dunn guy made all those documentaries on.
Yep.
He did a show that was talking about thrash this year, because thrash did have a good year altogether. A lot of the old guard stepped up this year and came out of hiding, not counting, the big one. But yeah, he picked that one for the thrash album of the year. Thrash album of the year. I picked it as the metal album of the year, not the fucking decade. But
yeah, and I fucking can't even argue with it. It's not on my list at the moment, not in the top 10, obviously, but I don't think you're wrong in saying that is the metal record of the year. I think it's the most important, and like you said, it is art, and it's done more with its genre than any other thing that's done forever. So good call. Yeah. I can't even disagree a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll listen to it forever. It's gonna be a classic album. It's gonna be like,
absolutely is. It'll be up there in the halls with Master and fucking all those, every great thrash record ever. It's right beside them.
Yeah, no question.
So,
no question about it.
My number 2, I guess I kind of thought this would be my number 1 of the year. I was just tickled when I found it coming out. This Graves at Sea, The Curse That Is. I've been in love with that band for so long. They had just such a minimal output. I think everything they had recorded up to this point was, an hour's worth of music, maybe spread over 8 tracks or something like that. Still, I ever traveled to DC. Went to San Francisco to see him play the last show. So it's a record I never thought I'd get. So half of that's sentimental, but man, it couldn't be heavier. It's fucking
fucking Funeral Doom, man. Like,
dude, those fucking guitars drag on the floor and are just and fucking really that kind of Neurosis-y, heavy-hitting tribal drums. And it is mostly heavy. There's a couple tracks in the middle that have some strings on them, and to kind of get a little moody in the middle, and then right back actually out to the rest of the record. So, yeah, Graves at Sea, if you're listening to this, fucking go on tour, please.
I
But I
did
never
that.
should listen to this record. If Sayor hadn't come along, this would have been I fucking have spun it to death. Be as fuck.
That's one of the things one of my discoveries this year, not discoveries, is my growing appreciation for Funeral Doom. So when that came out this year, I did grab it and check it out, and I thought it was fucking awesome. It's not on my list, but I think that's only because I didn't fully grasp it at the time, and then too much came out after, and now that I got back to it, I'm like, it's fucking awesome.
Yep.
But Funeral Doom is not on my list yet, so
Well,
I do like Funeral Doom. I do like Grave at Sea, and the fact that they finally put something out full length is fucking awesome.
Yep.
You know, it's like an hour and a half of like fucking pummeling Funeral Doom, so it's a beast.
Yeah, I was gonna mention the length. I mean, they certainly make you work for it, and
Yeah.
but I think it justifies it. There's not any filler. It's exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah.
So, and then all right, well, I guess that's our list. My number one was of course Sayor, and we gushed about that enough. So, yeah, I guess that's it then, huh?
Yeah, fucking 2016. I just real briefly, I just thought we could go just off the top of your head or whatever. I mean, that's just our personal picks. 15. I feel like this year had a shit ton of music, and this list could have easily been, 10, 15 other bands.
Yep.
And still been just as relevant and just as important. A lot of them new bands, a lot of bands that are in their sophomore years, a lot of old bands came out this year and really fucking just tore it up. Like, I don't know, the New Testament album I really liked. I thought those guys fucking killed it.
Certainly better than their friends.
Yeah, certainly better than their friends. Just off the top of my head, Old Graves had an awesome album this year. Golgotha, here I got Graves at Sea on my list. My Sub Rosa, the new Asphyx was really surprising. That thing was like a punch in the fucking teeth.
Fuck, what's the one? Philist or fucking.
Oh yeah, I can't pronounce that one. Cathilist, yeah.
Yeah, that fucking
killer.
For heaviest form of that.
Yeah, a lot of established bands here. I've got Alcest, Deathspell, Omega, Winter Violet, Gorguts had an awesome one. Devin Townsend had an awesome one this year. Red Fang. It's just never ending.
Nope. Well, and I think that's the only thing that made this year that is for all the other bullshit happening. So, fucking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to do a start off the list, and next time we'll try and find some less straightforward. I like this band. This band put out a great record. Fair. We'll try.
Figure this would be a good introduction to us and our taste and everything, but
right, yeah. That could give you at least a feel of where both of us are coming from, and we'll see you guys in about a month again. Sweet.
All right.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Peace.